In this video, we'll prepare a Week 14 cash lineup on the main slate for DraftKings, and it's coming up next. Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Lee.
And I'm Michael Wiley, and we're the Fantasy Football Consultants. Eric, we're one week in the books for our DraftKings contest. And congratulations to our big winner this week. Eric Lee wins the award. Congratulations.
This is the contest where we are supporting the people who have been writing comments throughout the year. But Michael, let's get in what everybody else is interested in, which is the Week 14 cash lineup. And I think it has to start at running back with Derrick Henry. He faces the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. This is a defense that he has dominated over the last 6 times that they have faced, averaging 22 carries, 145 yards, and 2 TDs, Michael. That's an average, but you have to be careful with Derrick Henry. You can't play him in every matchup. He was game scripted out last week as they fell way behind Philadelphia. I don't think that's going to happen this week. As a home favorite against Jacksonville, Tennessee's the better team. And as long as you agree with that, I think he's going to have a big game, Michael.
Yeah, and he has a tendency to kind of have this on again, off again situation. And I think everybody who's had him in their fantasy leagues in the last several years know that he gets really strong towards the end of the year. This is a great rebound week. Love this matchup. Look what he's done against Jacksonville year in and year out. It's going to be a big week for Derrick Henry.
All right. So I actually was glad he came off a bad week. He was a little bit more affordable, but I did spend money, Michael, even with a small discount of what he usually is. Where are we going to go at the other running back?
Our viewers know what we like to do. We like to attack bad defenses. The worst defense in the league against the rush is the Houston Texans, and Dallas Cowboys draw them this week in Dallas. Huge favorite. It's either Tony Pollard or Zeke Elliott. I know Zeke Elliott's starting to get a little bit more carries around the goal line, but that hasn't slowed Tony Pollard down. He's also been the better back week in and week out when it comes to passing yards. It's been really amazing what he's done. Even when he's only getting 12, 15 carries, he's consistently getting right up there around 100 yards. He's averaging 17.3 fantasy points. He's a nice price tag here, going up against the worst defense. I really love this $6,700 price tag for Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Michael, there's no question that we wanted the Dallas running back against Houston. Little inside baseball, we are football. we were debated heavily. Should it be Pollard? Should it be Zeke Elliott? Zeke Elliott is the guy who actually gets more snaps and running back touches on this team, but it's Pollard who does by far more with each touch that he gets. He's just the better running back, but we won't be upset with you if you decide to go with Elliott and save the $600. But in this lineup, we have Pollard. Let's just continue to pick on the Houston Texans, who just is by far the worst team in football. So I am going to pick CeeDee Lamb. So we're covered in the air and on the ground. CeeDee Lamb has just proven ever since Dak Prescott has come back that he is by far the favorite target of Dak Prescott, and having Prescott back there helps CeeDee Lamb. And I really like what we can expect him to do against this Houston defense.
Yeah, I mean, he's just such a talent. If you watch this Sunday night game against the Colts, you saw him, make plays. Not only was he involved in the rushing game at this last week, but he broke some tackles. He looked really elusive. A lot of people think that Beckham's got a chance of going to the Cowboys. I think that's just a rumor. CeeDee Lamb is the guy. He's going to get a lot of targets again this week. Like the pick, but again, we're spending money. So I'm going to save us a lot of money. I know there's a couple other picks that we want to spend some dollars on. So let's go all the way down to $4,900. A guy who's drawing again another bad defense, Adam Thielen for the Minnesota Vikings going up against the Detroit Lions. He is only 4,900. He's getting consistently high targets. This last week he only got connected twice, 2 of his 6 targets. But I think Justin Jefferson is drawing a lot of the attention. The Detroit Lions are playing a little better football right now, which means this game's going to have to be decent scoring. I really want to attack this game. Got to get someone on the Vikings in there. Couldn't quite afford Justin Jefferson, so we're going to go with Adam Thielen at $4,900.
Yeah, folks, Adam Thielen is snap count, routes run. They're all great, right? He is being involved in the game, and unfortunately, he does suffer a little bit with TJ Hawkinson coming over. But $4,900 in this matchup in a dome against Detroit is way too cheap, and I really like this pick here. So that allows us to spend a little bit more money than Thielen, $1,000 more, to get the guy who I've just been bragging about and touting for like last 5 or 6 weeks, Garrett Wilson. He passes the eyeball test. I mean, this rookie is such an incredible talent, and he was just being held back by Zach Wilson. Now, I think you guys might say, well, hey, wait a minute. He's got a tough matchup this week. Yeah, he did well the last 2 weeks against Minnesota and Chicago's defense. But how is he going to do against Buffalo? And they've got a shutdown corner, Tre'Davious White. Well, Tre'Davious White is coming off an ACL injury, and he has just had a very small snap count as he's getting back into his normal shape. I'm not worried about White. I think the White that's relevant here is Mike White, and he provides a lot bigger pie of the offense for the New York Jets passing game with him at the helm rather than Zach Wilson. And it is clear he has a great rapport with Wilson. I like this at 5,900, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of been the biggest, rookie star this year of late. He was obviously fantastic in college, and it's showing that he's not only a good route runner and he's not only quick, but he breaks some tackles and he's sure-handed. And that is why Mike White loves him so much. That's why he's by far the leading receiver for the Jets. We always like to go with the number one. We like to go with games that should have some points, especially in a passing situation where the underdog is going to have to be throwing late, and they I think will be coming from behind. Well, Eric, once again, I'm coming to save the day with pricing and save us some dollars. We got to spend way down on tight end. Yeah, always tempting to look at Kelsey, but he's just so expensive, and really no one else is drawing the eyes. So let's go all the way down to $3,400. Pick on, go with a team that's also going to be in throw mode most of the game, and who I think is slowly becoming the number one receiver for the Denver Broncos. That's Greg Dulcich. He continues to get decent targets. Had 6 of 8 catches this last week, going up against a Baltimore defense that was pretty stingy. But he was the go-to guy. He's quick. He was great in college. I think Russell Wilson has historically liked to use his tight ends. And Kansas City will be up in this game, and Denver's gonna have to try and come back. So it's a really nice price tag.
What a disappointment this Denver offense has been this year. Just no one could imagine how poor it's been. But you know what's been really good about this Denver team is their defense. And because their defense has been so good, their offense has been really conservative. They just refuse to open up the offense. Well, as you alluded to, as good as this defense is, I don't think that they're going to shut down Pat Mahomes. And so if Kansas City is going to put points up, that is going to force Denver to finally actually open their offense up.
Where do you want to go at the flex spot, Eric?
DeAndre Swift. All right, we have to start with a little bit of a history lesson with Swift this year. He started off gangbusters in week 1. And then shortly after that, he had both ankle and shoulder injuries. And they slowly brought him back. And much to his chagrin, Michael, he was very upset with the usage. Now, finally, he is 100% healthy. And look how they used him last week. He got 18 touches. He has consistently been involved in the passing game. This $5,800 price is way too low. It's from his legacy where he was really struggling and not being used. And in a dream matchup here at home, favored against Minnesota's defense, which is below average, and an incredible 28 implied total. This is highway robbery at 5,800, Michael.
Yeah, isn't this amazing that they're favored in this game? Detroit has really impressed, I think, the pundits out there, and it's for that reason that we're going to go with his counterpart, Jared Goff, who is really inexpensive. He's only $5,600, and we have to save money at the quarterback position, but I don't think we're giving up much. Kind of similar to what you're saying about Swift. Jared Goff had a really nice start to the season. I think he scored just 37 fantasy points against Seattle. Then he quieted down a little bit, but this Detroit team is winning games recently, or at least in games with close teams. And you saw what he did this last week against Jacksonville. He threw for 340 yards, got in the end zone a couple of times. He's not going to do much with his legs like some of the other quarterbacks, but at $5,600 against one of the worst pass defenses in the league, a team that is tough to run against, but not so tough to throw against, I think this is a pretty good bargain.
Really like this pick, Michael. I like that he's at home. I like that he's favored. I like that this is by far the highest scoring game on the main slate at 54 over under. I think this is going to be a shootout. Perfect situation for Jared Goff. As usual, we are going dirt cheap on defense. I am going to opt for the Carolina Panthers. Look, this defense over the last 3 weeks has been very, very good. They have averaged a little under 13 points given up in these last 3 games. Done well fantasy-wise with 11, 9, and 10 points. They've got to the quarterback with 3, and 5 sacks. And they face a Seattle team that, again, they still have a below average offensive line, even though they've improved it. At only 2,200, I'm pretty excited to get Carolina, Michael.
Yeah, and they're coming off a bye, and actually, because of how bad that NFC South is, they're still in the playoff hunt. If the Saints would have just took care of business, all those teams would be vying hard for first place in the NFC South. I feel pretty good about this pick at $2,200 versus for sure the other 2 options.
Michael and I broke down this main slate for FanDuel for week 14, and we'll put that video on the screen, as well as another video we think that you'll enjoy. Until next time, take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.